I'll teach you everything you need to know about logical operators in 5 minutes. In the last video we looked at comparing things using the squiggly line to see if they're not equal to each other, like this 1 plus 1 is not equal to 4. That is true, they're not equal to each other. But another way we could sort of do the same thing is by using the not keyword. I'll show you an example. If we want to print workspace.part A and check if the anchored is equal to true, the anchored is equal to false. But what if we want to check the opposite? You could just do the squiggly line here and see if it's not equal to it. True, because it's not equal to false. So this statement is true. But another way to do this is if you just write the word not in front. But you have to put this condition in parentheses. And what is this doing? Since we put this in parentheses, it's checking this statement first. Is workspace.part.anchored equal to true? No, so this is basically false. And this not just gives us the opposite of whatever condition is next to it. So the opposite of false is true. So it's going to print out true. Yeah, and it can get really convoluted. Like if you have a lot of double, triple negatives, like is workspace.part A not equal to false? And then you want not in front of it. Like, oh, is it equal to the opposite of the opposite? Like it gets confusing. But just know that whenever you see not, it does the opposite of what it is. Like not true is false. Not false is true. We could even check multiple conditions on the same line. Let's say we have two variables. One for channel, we'll set that equal to eyes. And one for score. We'll set that equal to 100. We want to check two things. One, if the channel is eyes, and two, if the score is higher than 90. We can do that all in the same line by doing a simple if statement. If channel is equal to eyes, so now I know which channel they're talking about, and the score is higher than 90, then we can print out. I'd like to thank God for this award. And it doesn't have to just be related to this. It could be anything. You could be like, and workspace dot baseplate dot color is equal to a certain color with two equal signs. You can check as many things as you'd like and just keep putting and to make sure you have that and keyword, and it'll check that both this statement is true and this statement is true. They both have to be true. Let's just see if this works as is. Bam, it works. Because both channel is equal to eyes and score is greater than 90. But what if the score wasn't greater than 90? What if it was 80? Would this still work? No, it doesn't print out anything. Because although this part is true, this part is not, and they both have to be true. That's what and means. Both sides have to be true. It's like when you go to the store and your mom is like, get me some eggs and cheese and yogurt. And then you have to get eggs, cheese, and yogurt. Even if you just get the cheese and yogurt and you didn't get the eggs, it's not enough. You need to have everything. If your mom asked for this and that and this, do better next time. However, if you only care about one of the statements being true, you could do an or. It just checks this one or this one have to be true. They don't both have to be true. So what would happen in this scenario? It prints it out. It works. Because although this part's not true, it doesn't matter. This part is true. Only one of them have to be true. But if none of them are true, it's not going to work. At least one of them has to be true. Yeah, they can both be true too. That works too. As long as one of them is right, they both work. It's like when you go to the store and your mom is like, get me either cheese or eggs or yogurt. And you show up with just the eggs, it's fine because she only wanted one of the three. Or even if you show up with the eggs, cheese, and yogurt, it's still fine because she said or. If you have multiple things like and then you have an and, 1 is equal to 1, and you have multiple things, it normally goes in order from left to right. But this could cause issues, so you can also use parentheses in your conditional statements. I'll show you an example of when this is useful. Alright, so we have this condition right here, and you don't need to understand this right now. I'll go over it with you, but just know if it boils down to true, it'll print out option A, and if it boils down to false, it'll print out option B. So let's see what it prints. Option A. And why is that? It goes from left to right. So false and false. Remember, they both have to be true or else the whole thing is false. And right here, neither of them are true, so it's going to be false. Then it checks out false or false. And for or, only one of them has to be true. But in this case, neither of them are true, so it's going to be false. And then false or true, I just said one of them had to be true and one of them is true. So it's going to boil down to true, and that's why we got option A. However, just a few simple parentheses around this last section. Let's see what happens now. It prints out the other option. And why is that? Because now it's doing what's in the parentheses first, just like in math. Let's go over it. False or false, it's going to be false because neither of them are true. False or true, that's going to be true. And that's all that was in the parentheses. And then false and true, for and they both have to be true, and they're not both true, so it's going to be false. And that's why you got option B. And you can see why parentheses are important to make sure it behaves the way you expect it to.